Are you guys struggling getting to diamond rank, or maybe you're still working your way to platinum? Well, either way, in this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 of the best tips to help rank you up faster and reach whichever rank you are trying to hit this split. I promise you, if you just listen to all 5 of these tips and actually implement them, you will take your game to the next level. If anyone is new to my channel, just know that it centers around helping you all improve at Apex Legends. So let's dive right into these tips. Tip number 1, we got to talk about the legend comps. These are the legends, in my experience, are going to be the best for this rank split on Olympus. Now, up until gold, you can really play whoever and get by, but once the competition starts to get more serious in platinum and above, it's probably easier to play these top tier legends. So here's who I think is best: Valkyrie, Ashe, Wraith, Gibraltar, Bloodhound, Crypto, and Fuse. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, Fuse, what? Why can't I play Horizon or Loba? And honestly, you can if you're really good with them. But the meta is decided not just by who is good, but it's who can give you the most helpful abilities through the broader scenarios you will end up in. Fuse is a menace with his damage dealing abilities, if he is played by someone who knows how to use his kit. If the player is bad with Fuse, it will probably be more of a liability. Now, as far as the rest of the recommendations go, you definitely want a mobility legend, and maybe 2 of them. Ashe is great for her portal, and that's who I played exclusively to get to diamond this split. Some of you may not know this, but they buffed her ultimate by making it so that you can place it to farther distances. They said it was a bug fix in the patch notes, but I can tell you it's made her way more viable as a legend. Valk and Wraith are obviously other great picks for mobility options. Gibby and Bloodhound continue to be top tier season after season because of the support value they add, and Crypto has a similar value as Bloodhound. You probably don't need a Crypto and a Bloodhound on the team, so I would recommend one or the other. Seer could also fill this role if the player is proficient with his kit instead. Legend comps are really important, and if you guys watch your favorite content creators as they grind ranked, you will see most commonly they are playing certain meta picks. Of course, there's always going to be the people who get to diamond with Mirage or whatever, but those are more exceptions to the rule. I'm speaking to the broader audience here. And so that's why those 7 legends are my recommendations. Now, before I get into tip number 2, let's talk about the rank system. The ranked point system has changed this season. There is a lot more emphasis on placement points, particularly in the top 5. So this means that kill points, aka kills or assists, are not as important as they were last season. However, they still are necessary to rank up. The max kill KP has been nerfed from 175 to 125 per match this season. Meanwhile, players can get the most out of the kills they do rack up by outlasting other squads. It sounds simple in theory, and it pretty much is, but Apex is a game of nuance. So there's gotta be an ongoing assessment for you and your teammates to decide when and where to take the right fights. And on the contrary, when to leave a fight if you've already got your KP, so that you can just focus on your placement. So tip number 2 is look for some early KP and then try to get to end game. If you are successful in doing this, you will end up finding multiple chances in getting more KP the later you survive in the game. And if you've already got some KP going into endgame, it won't pressure you as much to force a fight that isn't great for you guys. Some people don't think of ranked like a ball game, and it really is. Your KP is you scoring points on the board. It's easier to score points if you have KP and placement. If you only have one, you won't get too many points. Playing strategically and with purpose during your ranked sessions can help you maximize the time you're spending playing to the amount of RP you're gaining. This isn't rocket science, but I coach players daily, and so this is the simplest way I've learned to put it for a lot of people. If you guys are enjoying this video and are listening for the next 3 tips, all I ask in return is for you to smash the like button to help the video out. It's for the YouTube algorithm. This is free and will only take a second of your time, so thank you so much for doing so. Let's talk about tip number 3. Avoid fights in the middle of the map, specifically places like Hammond Labs, Turbine, and Terminal. These 3 POIs are all in close proximity to one another and all in the center of the map. It's generally going to result in 3rd, 4th, and 5th parties, especially if it's a mid-game fight. Now, the elevation on Hammond Labs does not help anybody who is on low ground, and in turn, even if you are holding that high ground, you can get walked up on from multiple different angles. I really do not like the center of the map on Olympus, so my strategy is generally avoid it. If I have to rotate through it, I try to do it as quick as possible possible, and I may decide to use one of my mobility abilities to help us get out of there sooner. If you are stuck in the middle of the map though, and you are forced to fight, the best tip I can give you is take the fight, try to wrap it up quickly, and then get out. Do not linger. If something's going on longer than 30 seconds, that's probably a sign it's gonna get third-partied. So if you can get a quick kill, get the thirst, then dip out. This map plays much differently than Storm Point or even World's Edge. It feels a lot smaller and more condensed. There's tridents, which help with people rotating faster. There's the rift, which helps people rotate faster as well. But ultimately, this map has a lot of third parties. So if you can get that early KP, like I talked about in tip number 2, you won't be as likely to get third partied if you do it in a smart manner. That's why my strategy centers around early KP and then getting those placement points. Tip number 4, well, we got to talk about teammates. It's funny because I always talk about this in my ranked videos, and I know a lot of you guys hit me with the same old responses, but frankly, teammates are indispensable as you rank up. Let me hit you guys with an analogy really quickly. When you're grinding rank, particularly in the higher elos, I want you to think of it like you're racing other vehicles. If you are solo queuing and you and your randoms have zero voice communication and you find it to be a struggle because one game it goes well, but then the next 3 games you lose a ton of RP, and whether that's because nobody ever says a word or because one of the randoms makes a bad move and you and your other random end up following them, regardless, I would equate that to you guys driving a 2003 Honda Civic while you race a Porsche down the freeway. The higher up you go in the ranks, the better the cars you start to go against are. And in turn, if your car sucks, you're going to lose the majority of those fights. In higher elos, a lot of people know how to communicate. They know how to fight. They're better at it because they've played longer. So in this split, I recommend finding some teammates. I duo queued quite a bit during this journey to Diamond, but I also squatted up. However, when I duo queued, I obviously had multiple randoms, and I did my best to get on the mic and call out the most helpful information at all times. Now, this is something I strongly recommend you do if you are going to play with randoms. And if you don't like playing with randoms, you gotta try putting in some effort to finding those teammates. You can join my Discord, the link is in the description below, or you can just solo queue and try inviting the players that you did well with after that match. Now, these are both easy ways to find teammates, but you gotta put in the effort. The reason I talk about this so often is because, well, I see the problem so often, and I know both sides of it. Playing with randoms isn't great, but playing with squad mates you like will not only make your experience better, but you should find more success in your games. Lastly, tip number 5. This centers around your drop spots. The 2 best options when it comes to selecting a drop spot for this season are contesting one team, preferably on the edge of the map, or landing somewhere uncontested. I don't see any reward in dropping with more than one other team. There's probably a few exceptions to this rule, like if it's Bonsai Plaza and both of the teams land up top and you land down low. But just understand, you can't control who fights first in these situations. And if you are forced to fight one team and then fight another quickly after, it probably won't go well because it's going to be early game and your loot won't be sustainable for that. Not to mention, if one of you goes down in the first fight, it's probably a GG on the next fight. Now, I'm not sure why teams do this and try to land with multiple other teams off drop. It's either because of apathy or, to put it simply, a lack of awareness. But if you listen to tip number 5 and implement it into your games, you should avoid a lot of -36s in Platinum. See, Apex boils down to a game of probabilities, so look for your advantages when you have them and try to seize the moment. If you are interested in Apex coaching sessions, please be sure to check out the Fiverr link below. I offer VOD reviews and have helped numerous players reach their goals in Apex. All of the reviews on my page speak for themselves. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch you on my next upload. Peace.